Hello students, in this video we will discuss unit number 7 of entrepreneurship, that is resource mobilization. We will discuss what is resource mobilization, and what are the factors to be kept in mind while selecting a source of finance. So let's start. Before going to resource mobilization, we must know what is resource, yes or no. So resource is basically an economic or productive factor which is required to accomplish an activity in a business. Okay, so it helps in achieving the desired outcome. In simple words, if we say resource is nothing but the inputs that are required to operate in a business. Okay, and resource is regarded as the lifeblood of an organization. Why it is considered as the lifeblood? Because the success of any business depends upon the timely procurement of resources and proper utilization of it. Okay, coming to resource mobilization, just now we discussed what is resource. Resource is nothing but the input which is required to operate in a business. And what is mobilization? Mobilization is basically movement. So resource mobilization deals with the resources, be it financial, physical, human, material, and the movement of these resources. Okay, so what are the resources in a business organization? The basic resources of a business organization are land, labor, capital, or physical resources, human resources, financial resources, material resources, and intangible resources. So these are the basic resources of an organization. Okay, so resource mobilization deals with the movement of these resources, in the right time, right place, and right quantity. So resource mobilization deals with it, and it also ensures that there is optimum utilization of resources. So in short, resource mobilization is having the right resource at right time, at right place, at the right price, and making use of the acquired resources, ensuring optimum utilization of resources. I hope it is clear. Coming to the factors which are to be kept in mind when selecting a source of finance. Now, to start a business organization requires finance. Without finance, how can a business start? Yes or no? So to start a business, there are various sources of finance the business organization can choose from, such as owner's fund, borrowed funds, like issue of debentures, loan from any kind of banks, loan from financial institutions, or from any private money lender. Okay, so selecting the finance source, what are the factors we need to keep in mind? Okay, so these are the factors we will discuss one by one. So the first point is cost involved. Now there are different sources of finance, so different sources will have different cost, yes or no. So the source that you are going to select, what is the cost of that source? Okay, suppose you want to raise funds via equity. Now what is the cost involved? So you need to consider that before selecting a source of finance. Clear? Next we have financial capacity of the firm. Now the financial capacity of the firm should also be considered before selecting a source of finance. Okay, now how much the company can bear the expenditure in future, the company also should think of that. Okay, if the company is financially sound, then it can go for borrowed funds like loan from banks, loan from financial institutions, issue of debentures. But if it is not financially sound, okay, financially stable, then it should go for equity. Okay, it should go for owners fund securities. Clear? Next we have form of business organization. Now what kind of organization the business belong to? Is it a partnership firm? Is it a sole proprietorship or a company? If it is a partnership firm, it cannot issue equity shares. If it is a sole proprietorship, it also cannot issue equity shares. But if it is a joint stock company, but it can issue shares and debentures to raise funds. Okay, so if it is a partnership or it is a sole proprietorship, then it has to go for loans from financial institutions or bank. So the form of organization the company belong to is also a major factor in selecting the source of finance. Next we have time period. Now the sources of finance are of different time period, like there are some sources of finance for 15 days, some are there for 1 year, there are for 5 years. So the business must decide for what time period they are requiring this finance. Okay, if it is for a short term period, then it can go for a trade credit, short term loans. But if it is for a long period of time, then it can go for shares or debentures. Okay, Next is risks involved. Now the owner fund securities involve no risk, okay, but the borrowed funds, that is loan from debentures, loan from financial institutions, banks, debentures, carry some amount of risks with them, okay. So if a business organization can bear the risks, then it should go for borrowed funds, otherwise it should go for owner fund securities. Next is flexibility. Now the source that you are selecting, is it flexible or rigid? Because there are certain financial institutions which put restrictions on the companies, okay. So if options are available, then you should go for other options rather than selecting organizations which are putting some kind of restrictions, okay. Next we have control. Now before selecting the source of finance, you must decide whether you want a dilution in control or not. If you want, you can go for equity shares, okay, because equity shareholders are the owners of the company. If you issue equity shares, you are sharing the control of the company among the shareholders. If you want dilution of control, then you can go for it. Otherwise, if you don't want the control of the company or control of the organization to be shared among the shareholders, then you can go for debentures. Last but not the least, we have tax benefits. Now while selecting the source of finance, we must also consider the tax benefits we are receiving from the various source of finance. From which source of finance, what kind of tax benefits we are getting, we must consider that, okay. So for example, if we talk about loan, the interest on the loan that we give, it is exempted from tax, okay. So the tax liability is less in that case. So these things should be considered while selecting a source of finance. I hope it is clear. So thank you.